Hello to Ray.
Hello, Diane.
Thank you again for being the voice from Fracking Central in Pennsylvania that helped us over the years to explain to our community in Fermanagh what fracking meant. You and other professionals and other people in that area really helped us to protect our community, and we're so grateful for that. So we're back with another ask right now. But for the people watching this who don't know you, Ray, could you like to explain who you are and where you are and why I'm talking to you?
I'm Raymond Kemble from Dimock, Pennsylvania, United States. Ground central for gas drilling and fracking. There's 67 wells around my house and 65 compressor stations around my house. This is where they want to try to, what they like to call stranded gas out. There's no such thing as stranded gas in Pennsylvania. All gas in Pennsylvania is fracked gas. New Fortress is a company I've been fighting here in the United States, also helping you fight them in Ireland. New Fortress right now is trying to build a terminal in Pennsylvania, 20 miles from my house, to liquefy the natural gas and send that out to by rail to be able to transport it to Ireland. I am totally against this. I don't want to see this. We don't not need this facility built over here in Wild Loosing. Same way you don't need a facility built there. This means hundreds of more wells being drilled in our community, in our county, in the state. And we cannot afford to have more of this going on. We are already contaminated. I've lost my water well over well, 13 years now. I lost my water well due to this, and I still do not have water in my house. You do not need frack gas in Ireland in any way, shape, or form. It's contaminated, it's radioactive. All the science is there. Everybody knows it. And for anybody in, the government there to think that this is a good policy is absolutely ludicrous. They don't even know what they're talking about. They
What
need to quit listening to the science, to listen to the science and quit listening to the industry.
the problem we had, Ray, is that they've been a bit naughty. The Green Party. I mean, I had an email from a chap called Eamon Ryan, who's the minister responsible for this, proposed LNG plant down in Shannon. And he wrote to me and he said, it'd be state led. We would, it'd only be temporary bridging fuel to until we get renewables. We might not need it. He said, "Oh well, we'll try not to use frack gas, or we won't use frack gas." And there's been TDs on saying that they won't use frack gas. But when we had a meeting this week, we met, gosh, yesterday. Seems like a long time since yesterday. So much is happening at the minute. But we met with their leader, and their leader told us, and their advisor was there, and they know that their state-led LNG facility that they're supposedly using for energy security um, is is going to be frack gas. And after all of our work trying to keep fracking out of our communities here to protect our clean air and our clean water, they're now going to do it at the expense of, I mean, there's women and children around you, I'm sure, and lots and lots of families. And this is a reality that somehow we need to bring to the Green Party, who are just about to leave office and leave the door open because the High Court just found that there's no ban in place. And they're just about to walk out of office, leaving the door open for that planning permission for New Fortress to go ahead. And, they're judging it on an energy security package policy that's in place to facilitate, you know, state-led LNG. It's a crazy situation that they've been misleading. They've been on the television saying it's not going to be frack gas. They've been saying all this stuff, and this is the Green Party. what would you say to them, Ray? I mean, can you try and bring, they seem so like in a bubble away from the reality. What would you say?
Well, it's bullshit. Plain simple. You know, there's no such thing as building a facility that's going to be temporary. No one's going to spend that kind of money building anything like that if it's not going to be used full time. And
Six,
that's the whole thing.
600 to 700 million.
Right, which is going to be like $1 billion American money. Okay. And again, no one's going to spend that kind of money to do this without it being full time. And that's the reason they are trying to build a terminal in Pennsylvania right now, 20 miles from my house, to liquefy it to get it there. All right. So, I mean, we don't need a terminal by us. You don't need a terminal there. There's no reason for this whatsoever. And again, frack gas is radioactive, and plus all the other chemicals that are in the gas that's coming through. And you cannot burn that off. So, when anytime you use it, you're going to have all that rayon coming into your house, into your heating system. So, wherever you're burning the gas, you're going to have rayon coming in. Rayon does not burn off. All right. This is a problem with this. And this is what we've been talking about, the radioactivity of this gas coming out. And that's the reason they call it stranded gas.
Tell us,
They,
tell us what the health impacts like, because we
well,
you helped us, like you guys all helped us to tell our community, and that's how we ended up being able to protect our community. So we want you to tell the Green Party what this is doing to your
Jo-
community.
Joe and Jess lives, Joe and Jess live down the road with a 4 and a 6-year-old. Okay. They bought the place. They didn't know the water was contaminated. They put the children into the bath to give them a bath, and the kids were screaming. They pulled the kids out with burns all over their bodies. Okay. And that's from the sulfuric acid that's used in the fracking process. So the kids were burned, and we have photographs of all these children like this. Now let's get into the cancer situation. We have the highest cancer rate right now of children in Southeast Pennsylvania due to the drilling and fracking of children with, I mean, the cancer rate is like 3 times what it used to be. So right now, like 80% of the kids have cancer due to this living near these different facilities, wells, compressor stations, you know, all the infrastructure that is here, is just contaminating everybody across the state. I mean, I could turn around and I could bring Ned into this and other families and other women, and it's going to be the same story you're going to be hearing across the state where, breathing problems, okay, bloody noses, um, rashes, okay, burns from the water, lighting the water on fire. And the list just goes on and on and on. And that's why I can't believe anybody be stupid enough to even think about bringing LNG in, because I mean it's the dumbest thing I could ever imagine anybody even think about doing. And for the cost to liquefy this, the shipping of it, and the cost of building a plant and do it there, I mean the power, the power they need to liquefy and unliquefy this is tremendous. It's going to put a strain on your power grid like you can't imagine. Okay. And then you got to think about all the pipelines and compressor stations have to be built to move this from that facility to move it around in the country.
Mhm. No, it's
Now,
absolutely.
I know people there for a fact. My family's there. My family's in Cork. All right. And no one wants you to, digging up my farmland or digging up my hayfield or pasture where I have my sheep or anything else. You're going to disrupt my life and our lives, to try to build your infrastructure, and that's just not right.
Yeah. So, Ray, thank you. We need to send this message, home to the Green Party now. We've got to do it. They've got days left in government, and they've managed to just do a U-turn on their policy and they've managed to leaving the door open. And we have got to tell them before they leave office, they have to take responsibility. And just because you're very far away, just because you're not right here with us, and the scenes of the children and the cancer and the burns and the respiratory disease and everything that's in the compendium. I think we're on the ninth edition of the compendium of fracking health harms, and we have our Irish Centre for Human Rights that did a great report on the human rights violations of this industry. I mean, it really is disgusting that our government, and especially the Green Party, have put us into this position. So, Ray, thank you so much yet again for this time this evening, and for sending a message to the Green Party. And thank you. Is there any final words you want to say to the Green Party?
Don't do it.
That'll do.
Uh,
Thank you.